When I transferred to the school, Helen had already dated all the cute boys. She would joke with her friends, saying even if I had to date a dog, I wouldn't date Michael. Well, I'm Michael. But a month later, her best friend cornered me and confessed. When Helen saw the marks on me, she flipped out. Who said you could touch him? Hey, can you pass this to Helen for me? I was handed a light blue love letter. This was the 11th one this month. Everyone knew I was Helen's childhood friend and figured she could never like me, so they felt comfortable asking me to deliver their letters. Like always, Helen would take it, raise an eyebrow, ponder who the guy might be, then scoff, my standards aren't that low. She'd toss the letter back at me and say, at your level? No thank you. Her friends would all laugh, and Helen would give me a look full of mockery. Why? Because the first love letter she ever tore up was mine. Helen and I grew up together. Our parents were close friends and naturally assumed we were too. First, we were. Until one incident. During a game of truth or dare, Helen got dared to kiss me. Back then, we were awkward but competitive as hell. She asked me, do you mind? I was just dazed for a second, and she kissed me. That was it. From then on, I was no longer seen as an unattainable student, but one of Helen's possessions. Helen's grades weren't great. Her parents hoped I would help her study. But when we planned to go to the library together, I waited at the bus stop for almost an hour, only to see a social media post showing she just won 10 gaming rounds at a net cafe. I took a cab to that smoky, dodgy net cafe. Helen was there, surrounded by guys cheering for her. She turned and locked eyes with me, giving me a wicked smile. Michael, what's your problem? Helen got a scolding from her parents and lost all her allowance because I ratted on her. You shouldn't go to places like that, I told her, trying to be a good friend while secretly having a crush on her. But all I got was growing resentment from her. Helen grabbed my chin and spat. Who do you think you are, meddling in my life? Just because we kissed doesn't make you my boyfriend. Get real. Helen had a pretty face that matched her bold, free-spirited personality, which made her popular. Many guys wanted to win her heart, and she didn't hold back. She flirted and moved on just as quickly. Helen showed her disdain for me publicly too. During a volleyball game, she deliberately spiked the ball at me and casually apologized. You won't hold a grudge, will you? My dear childhood friend. Everyone knew she couldn't stand me. I slowly accepted that. I carefully tucked away the letters I once penned for her, full of my unspoken feelings, and stopped concerning myself with her life. But in front of our parents, we still had to act as if everything was great. Helen's grades are improving, thanks to Michael, her mom said with a smile, serving us fruit platters. Helen looked happy but shot me a warning glance. Her improvement wasn't my doing. She had been seeing the best student in our grade. They were tutoring together. Until the day I stumbled upon them kissing in an empty classroom. I had almost gotten Helen out of my system. But we attended the same school, so it was hard not to see each other occasionally. As the top student, I was to give a speech at an upcoming award ceremony. To prepare, I stayed after school to practice with a teacher. I passed by an empty classroom and heard soft, intimate noises. Peeking through the gap in the curtains, Helen's eyes met mine. She had a boy pinned against the desk. In that moment, I knew she'd hold this against me too. The boy was Helen's boyfriend, a fellow student constantly battling with me for the top spot. But after dating Helen, his grades plummeted, catching the teacher's attention. They called me in, asking if I had noticed any changes in him or questionable associations. I just shook my head. I don't know. The news leaked out somehow. Helen's relationship became public, and her parents found out. Her father was furious and punished her harshly. One day, when my parents were out, Helen barged into my room angrily. I underestimated you. She shoved me, and I stumbled into the desk, spilling its contents. In the mess, we both noticed a letter, a light blue one with our names on it, and Helen knew my handwriting all too well. Oh, it was jealousy? Helen smirked knowingly. She ripped up the letter, and with a firm grip on me, I protested. I didn't snitch. She arched an eyebrow. This isn't even the most important thing right now. Helen took scissors from the desk and cut a lock of my hair, taunting, Michael, I'd date a dog before I'd ever date you. She used that lock to impress the best student. But it didn't help her avoid getting transferred to a new school by her angry father. The day Helen left, the most popular guy at school was heartbroken for a long time. I thought they'd last forever. But not long after, he got a picture of Helen being all cozy with another guy. And there went my little crush just like that. After that, his grades tanked. He begged me to help him meet Helen, just once. He really wanted to see her. I couldn't refuse. But when I showed up, there Helen was, drunk in a bar. She recognized me and wouldn't let me leave. Michael, isn't this just what you wanted to see? She sneered with a chilling smile. The next day, the most popular guy got a photo of Helen pinning me against a door and kissing me. We fell out after that. Word spread like wildfire, and everyone started pointing fingers at me for betraying him. I figured out why he snitched. He loved Helen but couldn't have her. Yet somehow he still got another chance. What a joke. I was only there to help them get back together, but I ended up messing it all up. Everyone at school turned against me. The irony though, they all seemed to forget Helen was the one with a wandering eye and a heartless streak. On the day I switched schools, Helen showed up to mock me. Couldn't handle it here. Huh? Michael, you got what was coming to you, she jeered. All I could do was nod in a daze. So did you. Helen burst into laughter. She whispered in my ear. Doesn't matter. Now we're both seen as heartless. Aren't we the perfect pair? Really? Suddenly, I found myself getting sick of you, Helen. Helen was the type everyone loved anywhere she went. Within just 2 months at her new school, she'd already dated all the good-looking guys. But every breakup was her call, and the guys begged her to stay. I overheard someone zing me asking her, "What about him? He's amazing." Helen just shrugged it off, laughing. "I'd rather date a dog than him. He's already my dog." But then someone stood up for me. "Helen, you really don't need to talk about him like that." That was Anna, Helen's roommate and best friend. But I knew her not through Helen. Rather, it was when I was new, caught in the rain and sheltered in the school building with her. No one spoke until the rain let up. Finally, she broke the silence. "So you're Helen's childhood friend, huh?" When I transferred, I landed in Anna's class. Helen was in the next class over. Her current boyfriend sat next to me. To avoid a repeat of the drama with the most popular guy, I switched seats and ended up next to Anna. It all felt kind of awkward to me, but Anna didn't mind. She quickly organized her stuff, even helping me move my desk, smiling shyly. "I've never had a seatmate before. Hope you don't mind?" Her smile had a gentle warmth to it. But I didn't open up to her friendliness, just nodded and looked down. Helen's dislike for me wouldn't magically disappear because I moved schools. She only got worse. The more I avoided her, the harder she came at me. On this day, the playground was the way to the cafeteria. I heard a ball bouncing and braced myself to dodge, but it was too late. The hit never came, though. I turned my head and froze. Anna had rushed over out of nowhere, blocking the ball with her shoulder. The ball hit the ground. Helen came storming over, icy tone. "Anna, what's your problem?" After leaving the field, Helen confronted Anna and me. I was tentatively asking if Anna needed a trip to the nurse. She smiled so wide, like it didn't matter. "I'm tough. It's no big deal. What are you doing?" Helen questioned Anna. Anna dropped her smile, questioning back slowly. "What are you doing? Why hit him?" Helen faltered. "What's it to you? I'm his seatmate." Helen shot Anna a complex look, then a sarcastic smirk at me. Quite the charm. Anna stood firm between us. "Helen, don't do this." After a pause, Helen laughed. "Wow, do you like him?" Helen always had this look, like she owned me. Not as her best friend, not as her worst enemy, just something that was hers. Anna remained between us. "Don't ruin what your families have, Helen. This isn't just family ties," Helen snapped with a laugh, cutting in. "We've got history you wouldn't believe." Want to hear? A bad feeling hit me, but it was too late. Helen nudged Anna aside, words sharp. His first kiss was mine. Transferred schools for me. Wrote me love letters about how much he liked me. Who are you? I took Anna to the nurse's office. She had a big bruise on her shoulder. Helen hadn't held back. Who knows what would have happened if I got hit instead? You call that a game or a fight? The nurse scolded. You're old enough to take care of yourself. Come on, help her with the ointment. I nodded and helped out. Her back was bruised up bad. What's wrong? Shocked? Anna chuckled carelessly. Lucky it was me. You would have cried. Ugly too. I muttered while applying the ointment. Just be quiet. Outside, the nurse tended to other students. Why were you so upset? My hands shook a bit while helping her. She turned to me. Eyes usually so cheerful, now serious. After how she treated you, aren't you mad? I shook my head. I'm used to it. Why not fight back? It doesn't work, I said softly, applying the ointment carefully. The more I fight, the worse it gets. She's got issues, her family too. If I tattletale, she gets in trouble and takes it out on me. Anna said nothing and I fell silent too. After finishing up and about to wash my hands, she suddenly grabbed me. She was cleaning the ointment off my fingertips, bit by bit. So, what do you think of me? Why are you running? As soon as I left the infirmary, Anna caught up with me. She was putting on her school uniform while running. Am I that scary? No? Then don't run. Anna blocked my way and lowered her voice. You know I'm tight with Helen, right? Did you really think I wouldn't find out about you too? So why are you messing with me? There was a hint of accusation in my voice. Anna paused, then laughed. Messing with you? Seriously? I took a hit for you out there. Don't you owe me one? I have no heart. I practically had the word avoid written on my forehead. But she burst out laughing, ruffling my hair. Fine, you little heartless. When I got home, I saw Helen right there in the living room. She was sitting on my couch, next to my parents. The look she gave me sent a bad shiver down my spine. Michael, come over. Mom was smiling, but it seemed forced. Come sit. Don't rush off to your room. I sat next to Helen, leaving a seat between us. Mom slid her phone over to me, a photo displayed on it. A photo of Anna and me, walking side by side. Michael, tell me, who is this girl? Mom asked. I glanced at Helen. The smug look was written all over her face. Dad just sat there quietly, lighting a cigarette. Seeing that I wasn't speaking, Mom spoke earnestly. Michael, you're a senior now. Making friends after transferring schools is a good thing. But there are boundaries. You know what's right and wrong, don't you? Yes. I took a deep breath. I'll change. And then my phone buzzed with a message from Helen. Just one short message. Snitch, everyone can do that. The next second, I blocked and deleted her. Helen and I were just friends, nothing more. After seeing Helen out, I stubbornly told Mom again. I wasn't the problem before the transfer. I was the victim. I didn't do anything wrong. She just sighed. I know you wouldn't, but I'm worried. I'll have Helen keep an eye on you. She's looked out for you since you were kids. What if I told you she's lying or that she's different now? My hands clenched into fists, trembling slightly. I stared at her, hoping she'd ask about the isolation, the transfer, the bullying. But she just massaged her temples. Michael, where did this photo come from? Then, I hope you can be honest. At that moment, I let go. Whatever. At school the next day, I noticed the odd looks from classmates. After all, thanks to Helen, everyone found out about yesterday's fight on the field between her and Anna. Anna sat like nothing had happened, catching up on homework. Can I borrow yours? I glanced at her blank sheet. Not doing it yourself? She cleared her throat and pretended to stretch her shoulder, only to wince in pain. She pouted. See, little heartless? You beat me up and won't even take responsibility. A few classmates turned to look. My face heated up. Shut up, will you? Anna laughed it off carefree. I sat down and handed her my completed homework. But then, My classmate in front turned around. Helen's current boyfriend, Jason. Michael, we need to talk. Anna grabbed my wrist, looking up at Jason. What do you want? He blinked. None of your business. Jason was well known around school. Good-looking and confident, he had lots of friends even off campus. Unlike me, totally new here, Anna was worried I'd get the short end of the stick. But I just gently brushed off her hand. It's okay. I stood up. Let's go. We'll talk outside. You know this photo, right? It was a photo of Helen forcing a kiss on me in the lounge. When Jason showed me, I wasn't surprised. It was a big scandal before I transferred. Him knowing wasn't shocking. But what he said next caught me off guard. From the angle of this photo, were you willing? Jason zoomed in, stopping at where Helen pinned me to the wall. He said, she was out of line, right? Back in class, Anna leaned in quietly. Helen broke up with Jason. Jason had just sat down himself, looking as composed as ever, not at all like someone who got dumped. I asked her, are you sure Helen initiated it? See, just before we got back to class, Jason had asked me, Michael, want to get back at her? After school, I was packing up slowly. Anna suddenly called out, Michael, look at the back door. It was Helen. She wore her uniform casually, one hand in her pocket, leaning against the door with her fingers tapping rhythmically, and she was giving me a sidelong glance. I instinctively gripped my backpack strap, but Helen strolled right in. She slammed a can of Coke on my desk. Your mom said I should walk you home from now on to avoid any incidents. She glanced at Anna when she said this, and Anna pushed the Coke back at her. He doesn't need it. What do you care? Helen shot a cold look at Anna. Anna, know your place. Don't push it. Anna said each word crisply. I don't care about your personal life, but with Michael, don't overdo it. Are you into him? Enough. The next second, I splashed a cup of water in Helen's face. I shut the cup decisively, like making up my mind. Helen, can't you take a hint? I don't need you. Go ahead and do your worst, but right now just leave. Anna chuckled and cooled my face with the cold Coke, and I was still dazed. What, dumbstruck? Or was splashing her face just too satisfying? I frowned and took the Coke from her hand. You talk like you got some benefit out of this. Anna's hair was still dripping with water. That time I splashed a drink on Helen. Quick as a flash, she grabbed a nearby water cup and splashed Anna, who was standing in front of me. Anna wiped her face and said nothing. Helen, on her way out, threw the cup down and left with some harsh words. Michael, if you've got guts, don't come back. I opened a Coke and took a sip. Aren't you going to dry off? I asked. Anna replied with annoyance, you're not even handing me a tissue to wipe. I put down the Coke, rummaging through my pockets. Let me find one. The playground wasn't bustling after school, just a few people playing basketball. Anna and I sat side by side on a bench. I finally found a tissue. I looked up, surprised to see Anna just drinking from my can of Coke, right from where I drank. She flushed and put the Coke back, saying, couldn't find a tissue, so I figured, why not just drink a bit of Coke? Anna and I hung out for quite a while. When we came out of the movies, I ignored a third call from home. Anna looked over, you really not gonna answer? I replied nonchalantly, at this time, Helen's probably already spun the whole tale about me to them. Why take the call? Just to get scolded? Anna chuckled. Never noticed you had such a personality before. We went to a barbecue spot for a late-night snack. I didn't have money, so I relied on Anna, this naive rich girl. So, good students drink too now? There were 2 beer bottles on the table. I shook my head. The owner gave it to us. Gave it to us? Don't we look like high schoolers? Anna laughed again, and I couldn't help but smile too. She opened one and poured into 2 cups. The beer tasted awful to me. Amidst the aroma of barbecue and the crowd's chatter, I heard Anna putting down her cup. I've had enough of her too. Anna muttered, she's been my friend since childhood. She wasn't like this before, just a bit stubborn and loved saying the opposite of what she meant. She's not one to bully for no reason. I remember when I got bullied years ago. She stood up for me and ended up covered in bruises. When I asked her about it, she wouldn't say. Her dad's got a temper, and if I hadn't cried at their door, I fear he would have beaten her worse. After middle school, I heard from my parents her mom had an affair. Her dad found out and hit her. Helen got caught in the crossfire trying to defend her mom. Their family fell apart after that, and Helen changed. Then there was that stupid truth or dare session. That's when she really started hating me. Anna clinked her glass against mine. Doesn't matter. You've put up with her for years, but that's enough. She made her choices. It's on her. I kept quiet, just sipped my drink. But in the next moment, she grabbed my cup. Stop drinking. I couldn't hold back a laugh. Then you should stop drinking too. I leaned in closer, my eyes twinkling. If you get drunk, I can't carry you home. Anna blushed, pushed away, muttering, "Why are you this close? Can't you respect my space?" It was late when I got home. All the lights were on, no one asleep. I walked in, enduring the stares in the living room, swapped shoes, and dropped my book bag, expressionless. "Michael, come here." My mom was the first to speak. Only my parents were in the living room. Helen wasn't there. I walked over and stood before them, head held high, no expression. "Don't you know what you did wrong?" My dad was next. He got all worked up right after. "Staying out this late, ignoring calls and texts. Do you even know what you're doing?" My mom tugged his sleeve. "Michael, be honest. Were you with that kid in the photo? Did you do anything wrong?" she asked. "Helen must have told you everything by now," I said. It was the first time I felt such calm inside. I already said she's just a classmate. She got hurt, and I took her to the infirmary. "Why did she need you to accompany her?" My dad countered. "Because she got hurt protecting me." I slammed my bag onto the floor. "Because your perfect Helen doesn't like me, and she threw a ball at me. If Anna hadn't blocked it, it would have hit me." Silence blanketed the room for a moment. I took a breath, witnessing my parents' stunned faces, and chuckled. "Don't believe me?" I rummaged through my bag, pulling out my phone. My hands shook as I fished out the photo. "Look at this." I showed them the photo of Helen kissing me. "If you don't believe my words, believe your own eyes." The conversation with my parents finally ended, and I went to my room. I collapsed on my bed, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. My phone buzzed with a message. It was Anna. "Hope your folks didn't catch on about the drinking. Remember to have some lemon water. I left a lemon in your bag. And don't mind your family's words. If Helen gives you trouble, I'm here." Staring at the screen, a smile broke out. Even though it's not her fault for sharing an apartment with Helen, she's caught in this mess too. I recalled my parents' shock and confusion. My mom, in particular. The way she handed me back my phone, speaking in her softer tone. "Michael, I understand now. I'm sorry, but about what happened at Helen's house?" I shook my head. "I know. I didn't turn on the lights. Lay in the dark, eyes fixed on the ceiling. There was a sound from the balcony. I got up, barefooted. In the pale moonlight, I saw the last person I wanted to see, Helen. Her house was close to mine, but she was supposed to be living near the school with Anna. Yet there she was on the tree outside my window, gazing at me, head tilted. Back from hanging with Anna? My face was blank. I went to pull the curtains but stopped when she called out, "Michael, you see what this is?" She was holding something. My hand hesitated on the curtain, trying to see what she meant. There was a lock of hair tied with a string. It was the piece I cut off to appease the popular guy in school. Instinctively, I touched what was left of my long hair by my ear. Helen laughed. She said, emphasizing each word, "This here is proof you were simping for me." But I didn't even give her a glance. "Well, enjoy keeping it till you're old and alone." A few days later, it was sports day. Helen was unusually quiet for a few days. The city exam was scheduled right after the sports meet, plus there was a volleyball match, so maybe she was just busy. Thinking about the exam, I remembered what Jason had said. Helen plans to cheat on this exam. She already bought the answers, but I got her transaction record. Since we're dating, I could unlock her phone and access all those records. The USB with the record was already in my backpack. I was sitting absent-mindedly in the stands. The next second, the familiar cold touch of a Coke can pressed against my cheek. I took the Coke without looking up. Anna, girls shouldn't drink so much Coke. Anna playfully pinched my cheek. I slapped her hand lightly. Quit it. She giggled and sat down beside me. Didn't sign up for any events? I opened the Coke. Tired, lazy, not good. Anna laughed. Your limbs sure are weak. So what did you sign up for, Miss Strong Limbs? She was grinning, completely missing the sarcasm in my voice. My finals are this afternoon. Come watch. I agreed. But at the venue, I couldn't find Anna anywhere. Instead, there was a new player replacing her. At the edge of the field, I saw Helen. She was wearing a white jersey with the number 6 standing out. And immediately, I noticed the star sticker on the lower left corner of the jersey. That was Anna's jersey. A sense of foreboding rose in me. Michael. The sound of the ball hitting the ground was heavy and clear. Helen unceremoniously grabbed my wrist. Why run? Not gonna watch me play? At that moment, all eyes were on us. She suddenly leaned down and whispered, only loud enough for us, in my ear. Or do you want to guess now what happened to Anna? It was a crisp smack. I slapped Helen across the face in front of the whole school. She didn't even react, didn't hit back. For a moment, everyone was shocked, staring at us. I took a breath. Helen, this slap is for the ball you threw at me. The volleyball hit the ground. Helen, coming back to her senses, grabbed my wrist. Her cheek was flushed, and her gaze was dangerously intense. Michael, do you even know what you're doing? Yes. My wrist was in her grip, couldn't break free, so I gave up. I told my parents about your forced kiss. You made me an outcast, forced me to transfer, made people avoid me like the plague. Helen, you weren't like this before. Do you even recognize yourself now? Helen's hand froze. I broke free, pushing her hand away hard. Tell me where Anna is. She didn't get mad but smirked instead. Where is she? Michael, why don't you find out for yourself? The school was big. I ran through each building, searched every room, knocking and calling Anna's name. Finally, I found her in an empty classroom on the top floor. Anna was sitting inside, nonchalantly watching the volleyball game outside through the window. Helen wasn't on the field, and Anna was locked in. Why are you here? Seeing me, she was a bit surprised. How'd you know I was here? I thought you'd leave when you saw I wasn't on the field. Through the window, I angrily banged on the door. And you're not even worried. What if no one came and no one found you? Well, you're here now. Anna nudged the locked door. Yeah, I didn't expect Helen to play dirty and lock me in here. It's fine though, the security will eventually come to check each room and I'll get out. I sniffed. I'll get the security to unlock it for you. Hey, no rush. Through the window, I stood in the corridor, locking eyes with Anna. She casually sat on the desk, grinning stupidly. Look at us now, don't we just look like Romeo and Juliet, staring at each other through the glass? I couldn't help but laugh at her. Finally got the door open, the volleyball match had ended. I knew how much this match meant to Anna. She prepared for it so long. Taking a few steps, I couldn't help but call out to her. Anna, sorry. She tilted her head. Why sorry? If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have suffered Helen's revenge, right? The corridor on the 4th floor was quiet. Everyone was at the field, making the school building empty, amplifying our footsteps. Anna chuckled lightly, half joking. Yeah, I'm pretty aggrieved. What are you going to do about it? I paused, giving the question some thought. But she laughed again, pulled me by the shoulder. All right, let's focus on one thing at a time. I recalled the day in the nurse's office when she asked, so what do you think of me? But even now, I didn't dare ask, what do you mean, what kind? Anna had a fresh, laundry detergent-like scent. It felt like she wasn't just hooking my shoulder, but also my hesitant heart. I heard someone's heartbeat getting faster. In one careless moment, I missed a step going down the stairs. Watch out. Anna's arm caught me. Leaning in her embrace, my mind went blank. Why are you blushing? Anna suddenly lowered her head, her breath tickling my cheek. So, with this atmosphere, can I maybe confess? Anna and I walked side by side out of the school building. Her teammates rushed over, throwing Jess her way. You both chickened out with Helen, didn't you? The coach was so mad the game's been pushed to the day after tomorrow. I let out a sigh of relief. Thank goodness it's not over. There's still a chance. Anna waved at them with a smile. The day after tomorrow, then. With me here, we're all good. Their eyes seemed to glance at me intentionally or unintentionally. I felt a bit uneasy and tugged on Anna's shirt. She looked down and just held my hand. Want to go get some food? That move was like a declaration of territory. Her teammates gave me knowing looks and then gave Anna a thumbs up. My face started to heat up again. I tried to pull my hand away, but she held on even tighter. As we walked off the field, she leaned down playfully. What's wrong? Am I embarrassing you? I playfully punched her. You're being cheeky after getting your way. But just then, we turned around and unexpectedly met someone else's gaze. Helen stared coldly at our fingers interlocked. What? Found someone new this fast? Helen didn't stick around. She just said that and walked away. Anna sighed and soothingly patted the back of my hand. It's all right. Even if she goes crazy, I've got your back now. Yet I felt a bit uneasy. It's like I didn't recognize her anymore. When we were young, Helen and I were childhood friends in every sense of the word. But later on, maybe because of family issues or bad influences, she changed. Anna patted my head. I won't let her bully you again. Does that mean I was weak before? Did I burden you? She just shook her head, smiling. If it had been me, I'd have found it tough too. When people change, but you remember the good they used to have, it's harder to deal with than them being completely bad. What about you? I looked at Anna, asking, will you change? Anna stopped smiling and suddenly hooked my pinky finger. If that day ever comes, promise you'll slap me and call me a jerk. Dump me, and don't ever be unfair to yourself. Before the exam, I stayed home studying. My parents were being much nicer and even left fruit on my desk. But just as things seemed to be improving, with only a day left until the exam, Anna's absence didn't sit right with me. I called her a dozen times, but no one answered. I got stopped at the hallway corner. Where you off to? It was Helen. She had a bruise on her lips and a small cut near her eye. The unease inside me hit an all-time high. Where's Anna? I asked. She wore a tired smirk. She took my hand, slowly yet firmly intertwined her fingers with mine. Helen's eyes landed on a barely noticeable mark on my shirt. It was the mark Anna cautiously, hesitantly left the other day, so faint you could barely see it. But Helen noticed. Breathing a bit heavier, she pressed my shoulder again. Where you heading? None of your business, I replied. Helen looked down, suddenly adjusting my collar, almost pleading. Forget her, Michael, let's start over. Anna got beaten into the hospital by Helen. When I walked in, there was Anna, pale as a sheet on the hospital bed, and my breathing got lighter. Anna. She opened her eyes, saw me, and let out a small laugh. How'd you find me? Worried you, huh? Anna was from out of town, studying here alone. Her brother brought her in, not her parents. This one's on me, she muttered, propping herself up. I egged her on yesterday, and she wailed on me good. But she's not in great shape either. Just minor injuries. I gently touched the small scar at the end of her brow. Thinking back to Helen's vulnerability earlier, it didn't bring any satisfaction. Seeing Anna, I couldn't help feeling heartache. This can't just be brushed off. I said firmly, Anna, I'm going to make her apologize to you. She chuckled. How you gonna do that? She's still got a thing for you. An apology might have me lose a perfect boyfriend. But I didn't laugh. I pulled a USB drive out of my bag and handed it to her. Anna, letting it slide is just hurting her. Michael. I ran into Helen outside the hospital. She knew I'd visited Anna and had been following me, not stopping me or coming upstairs. She walked over, but I stepped back a bit. Helen. Helen stopped, looking intent. Michael, I've messed up before. Can you help me be better? I shook my head. Remember? I did try to help you. At the internet cafe, you told me to butt out and leave. She faltered, her throat moving like she wanted to say something but couldn't get it out. I smiled slightly. Helen, go apologize to Anna. Her smile vanished completely. Helen took a few steps towards me, holding my shoulders, her voice shaking slightly. Do you love her? Helen, it's not about liking or not. I pushed her hands away. You need to see a therapist. So, you think I'm sick too? Helen, I know what's going on at home for you, and this is just some honest advice. You beat Anna up like that. She could easily press charges against you. Helen let go. Michael, don't choose her. Okay? Teach me, I don't know how. Teach me, please? It's too late. I look at her, this girl who's now so different from before. I realize now, it's not you I liked but the earlier version of you, stubborn yet soft-hearted, with a bit of a prideful side. That's why I kept forgiving you, but it only made you act out more. To be honest, I kinda knew you started resenting me after the stuff went down at your place. You hated me for having a happier family and living my life openly. You couldn't stand how I had admirers yet felt above you, never expressing any humility. Helen, that day I saw it. You pieced together that torn-up love letter, weaving my strand of hair into a red thread. But you still hated me. I couldn't figure it out until I overheard your mom on the phone with mine, saying you'd been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I could hear Helen's breathing getting heavier. In the end, I stepped back and waved at the auntie rushing over. No worries, you just need to rest. But as for me, who you've hurt so much, I won't be feeling sorry for you anymore. Helen was quickly put on a leave of absence. Along with it went the evidence of her cheating, the USB drive. With the truth out, everyone learned about her mental illness and I got a bunch of apologies even from the popular guy. Though some came to congratulate me like Jason. Jason noticed Helen's bipolar disorder not too long after I did. So he came to me hoping she'd face consequences. A few times she got drunk and went wild, calling for you every time. When he handed me the USB drive, he was grinning, calling you, saying she likes you while also calling you stuck up. That's when I realized she must really have issues. Besides the leave of absence, I heard Helen's parents finally divorced. Years of torment, struggle, and drama ended with her mental illness. Helen's mom quit her job to take care of her properly. When her mom called, I was still at Anna's hospital bed reading. Michael, I apologize on her behalf for everything in the past. Could you still visit her sometime? But I gently turned her down. Anna missed the big exams, but she's recovering quickly. She punched me playfully and ruffled my hair. How dare you handle her without telling me? Makes me feel useless. I laughed, reassuring her. As long as I'm useful, that's all that matters, right? Anna's about to be discharged. I suddenly asked her, at the nurse's office, were you about to confess to me? She was caught off guard and moved her arm awkwardly. Why are you asking that now? Her answer was obvious. I rolled my eyes at her. Aren't you scared I'm one of those hopeless romantics, like, crazy about Helen, loving her even when she treats me poorly, and then turning around to accuse my best sister of having other interests in me? No, Anna firmly denied, no way. Besides, you seem pretty smart. I don't buy it. And who said anything about being infatuated at first sight? Anna's actually a smart cookie. Before I transferred, she came to our school for competitions. Among her group, someone joked, Anna, with your presence, wouldn't you randomly dazzle a bunch of guys? The person couldn't help feeling proud. That's an understatement. Anna's grace is rare. One group is being modest. I happened to walk past then. Back when I wasn't isolated and Helen's condition wasn't severe yet. I had a book in hand, spoke before thinking, and walked past her without a glance. Anna's gaze lingered on me. As I walked into the school building, I didn't spare her a look. Not one fell for her. At that time, Anna had broken school rules enough to fill a book. Except for the rule against early romance. She turned and saw the school's bulletin board. The most prominent spot was taken by my name and picture, Michael. Anna stared at that photo, pondering for a good 10 seconds. Finally, she came to a conclusion. Forget it, sis surrenders. Everyone laughed heartily. Yet, the spot in the young girl's heart began quietly to grow. From then on, Anna's diary had an added line. Want to see my name beside his?